Man, they really killing me with that, ain't they? Greetings. Grandmaster, I'm right here coming to you a third time. We keep having technical difficulties, and I wanted to keep trying different devices here to see if we could fix this problem. This one looks pretty strong to me. It looks like, but it doesn't happen right away. It starts when I start talking and people start coming into the chat. Seems like YouTube doesn't want me to talk about this subject, and they keep on taking away the bandwidth so that I can't get this message out. But you know, for me, I'm anything but persistent, and so I'm now using another type of modem, and we'll see if this one is going to give us any problems. Rutha D. Nubian, Hotep King and family. Hotep, we're here again. This is our third time in the chat. This is like the third, you're like the first one in the third chat group. And I know people are frustrated with this, and I am also. So I can't get one thing that's so we're gonna keep on trying here. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, okay, that's a lot better. So the topic is what will happen in Africa when the United States goes into a financial crisis. And I'm just here trying to get this message out. And you know, get some points in there from other people also. And I think this what's G's mean? What 10 young 10 again? What do you mean? G's. Is that yes, it's okay, or no, it's not okay? Because damn, it looks so good to me. Picture looks brighter. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, I should move more so you can know it's not frozen. Gidis. Ah, joking. Come on. Hmm? No, he's not trolling. I don't think. He's saying that you can't hear me and you can't see me. Now, yeah. I would assume, but it usually picks right back up again. Yeah, there, it's okay. So I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna really talk and get this out. And goes off again. So yeah, okay, it stopped working, but is it working now? Mississippi 4589. Mississippi, woo. Okay, I heard some things about that today. Mississippi. Okay. You know, if people know me, you know this channel has this problem. I don't know why they do that. Maybe if I had Patreon or Super Chat, somehow they would give me a break, but they're not. So that's why you didn't do it. Now I'm using a different modem on a different app, and we'll just have to see if this is going to work. Normally now, this time people are using their computers, but it's now late, so it shouldn't be that bad now. People should be sleeping, getting ready to go to work in the morning here in Kenya. So anyway, we were talking about what would happen, and I was basically saying that Africa would be okay, Kenya would be okay if America went into a financial crisis within the next year from now. So as we all know that the elections are coming in 2020 November, and I think after that January 2021, that is when we should know something for sure what's happening with the American economy. Um, Now, for blacks that are already feeling the pinch and already seeing the things going down, um, you decide if you're going to wait it out or you're going to make a move. Now, me, of course, I'm saying make the move. You never know when it's the right time to make the move, but that's why I say you should make that move. If you can get your tax money, or you can get if somebody laid you off and you got a big wad of money, then you should. My advice would be to take that trip, make it an open end trip. If you fail in the country, you can always go to the American Embassy and they'll give you a free ticket back home. It won't be free; you have to pay them back, but you ain't got to be like stuck in the country. Some people don't realize that. If you go in America, if you come into Kenya and let's say I'm in lied to you completely and everything is just horrible, and you find yourself like crawling on, sleeping on the streets. No, man, you can just go to the American Embassy, and when you walk into the American Embassy, you're on the U.S. soil. So you just tell them, look, you know, I tried to make it here and I lost all my money, and what can you do for me? And of course, the American Embassy because is going to say, okay, here's a plane ticket, get on the plane tomorrow and go back, and then pay us back. And then that's how you'll follow through with that. Okay, guys, welcome back to the chat. Don't know why this thing is blinking. I'm trying to get some extra light there. Yeah, I would assume that Trump would be reelected, and that's when all hell should break loose. But it really doesn't matter who's elected; they're going to still have the problems. Uh, Mr. Private Brain, how are you, man? What color shirt you got on? And it's been some time. Good to see you. So, Mr. Private Brain, what do you think? Do you think that Africa will survive a financial crisis that hits in the United States, or do you think the financial crisis would bring Africa to its knees? Considering the fact that the Chinese are doing 75% of the export-import business and doing major deals with Kenya. Just the other day, they did a $40 billion deal with Kenya to export. Kenya now can export $40 billion US dollars worth of tea to China for some specialty tea China wants. And these are small drop in the bucket deals for China because the amount of money that they have, but for Kenya it's a real big deal. Bruce Denubian, if I had the funds, I'd be trying to get the hell out of there. I already, there is a lot of that sentiment, Bruce Denubian. But you have to realize that a lot of it is in our brains. And if you're going to change your life, if you're going to take that chance and make that change, you have to realize that your brain is there to protect your body. And what it's going to do is try to make you hesitate. And if you get in a lot of negative, if you get exposed to a lot of negative press about Africa from CNN and the rest of these media houses, they definitely will make you hesitate in coming. But I'm here to tell you, after being here 21 years, that this is the best option you could take. You can get a plane ticket as low as $500 if you're really serious about getting out of there. Because now I think it's Istanbul Airlines, they be having these deals for $500, $500, $600, $700. The prices to come to Africa, plane prices are almost half what they used to be. And of course, if you have a little bit of funds and you don't want to take all that time, Kenya Airways has a flight every night going out of New York. Direct flight from New York to Nairobi. So to get out is not a problem. But if you don't have a passport, then that's the psychological, and you want to leave, psychologically you're being held back somewhere. And each and every one of you have to really search your own soul and try to see why you're doing that. Now, some of you are in your 30s and 40s, and you've been this way most of your life. So it's really difficult for you, and you probably already did some soul searching yourself to see, like, my self-discipline level is poor. And to get that $150 and put it onto a passport is something that is always ends up being somehow a back priority or a low priority. And I'm telling you that the way the United States is going, even you're going to need ID to go from state to state. It only behooves you to just get your passport before they go up in prices or before they tack on another stipulation that make you unable to get a passport. I think Africa will thrive no matter what. Yeah, as I was saying in the other videos before they cut me off, in 2008, it really wasn't. I experienced some slowdown, but I still saw growth. You know, it was growth, but it wasn't as big as it was previous years, 2009, 10, and like that. But by the time 2011, 12 came, we were booming. And Kevin Tucker, peace, brother. You know, you're not talking to me on WhatsApp. What's the matter, man? What's up? Why you used to talk to me every day? I miss that. Now you should be giving me some what's up. You know, it's getting time close for you to come, and now you're getting quiet. That means that you were lying to me all that time, talking about I'm coming to Africa, and then you see now when it get close to the time for you to come, he's quiet. I've seen that happen before, but Kevin is not that kind of guy, so I'm expecting to see him soon. Bertha Nubian, exactly. It doesn't matter because they're not even talking about us. They care more about these illegals. They care more about illegals. They care more about gays and lesbians. We have been put on the back burner, and the crisis part of that is that we don't have even black communities, and no one's really talking about that. What do you do if you don't have a community? Well, first of all, you know, if you don't have a family, that's one thing. But living in America and being a black person in America and being a minority, you become more and more like a zoo animal. You go outside and you're like, people are looking at you because you're a minority. You go to a mall, you know, you're looking around, it's harder and harder to find, you know, some black couples walking in the mall. And then we have the audacity not to go what's up to each other when we pass each other in the mall. You know, only two blacks in the place. So the extent of disunity is terrible. And these now black leaders are trying to capitalize on our disunity by coming up with things like a $200,000 talk with Tashik is trying to put together in Atlanta, saying we're going to come together and we're going to discuss. It's nothing to discuss, man. There's only one way you can defeat this situation, and that's to leave. And that's the thing we don't get. Yep, Ashley, I got my passport a year ago. It was about $130, including the pictures. Yeah, Nubian, then you're good. Okay, but I just want you to hear me as I'm telling you this. It's a psychological thing on why you're not out of there, and it's it takes self-discipline. You have to break yourself from your normal way of doing things, and the brain don't like that. The brain is deciding, I want you to stay in your comfort zone, and to go and start talking about going to an unknown place you've never been before, and then somebody on the news has put in something in the back of your mind and tell you that it's not good there. You know, like they must have breakout of Ebola in Africa. Africa is a continent. That's like saying breakout of measles in the United States. It's like, what? Where? I mean, which state? Which city? You know, come on, breakout. You know, but those vague type of headlines stick in our minds, and then we tend to get a negative impression about Africa, and it's such a lie. I'm here to tell you, it's such a great lie that they keep putting out all these articles. One of the things that really pushed me to do these shows is the fact that by living here and seeing Africa and living in Africa and doing business and working in Africa and dealing with the people in Africa, in Kenya, I'm like, when they put these articles out, I'm like, what in the world? You know, how can you even imagine? First of all, there's a campaign that's going out against the Chinese to make us hate the Chinese, and you're never gonna see a Chinese. 99. I have never met a Chinese person since I've been here. I didn't even really, and I met a couple in America. You know, it's very rare. It's only 40,000 of them in the country. So out of 50 million people, 40,000 Chinese. If you happen to run across one, you should take a picture because that's going to be rare. You know, just to see them. And then their culture, they're not that friendly, and they don't really associate with foreigners. The country just went through a great invasion by the Japanese less than 90 years ago. And I was saying this to the people that are talking about the Chinese going to take over Africa. China has never invaded a country in its life. It has been invaded. 90% of the country was taken over by Japan. Okay, and then after that, they went through 40 years of civil war to try to get the people back to united under one group, and they were finally able to do that in 1950. So to say that China's going to turn around and do what the Japanese did to them, they're going to do that to Africa, this would make the country a hypocrite. You see, they know what it's like to be invaded. This is the way Africa knows what it's like to be invaded. China's are our friends, and they have a sweet spot for Kenya. But these fools that are putting out these that are following this negative campaign and falling victim to the propaganda are in danger of messing up the country by fooling around talking shit about the Chinese. Oh, the politician was on TV. Of course, that's part of the campaign, to get a politician, pay him money to go up. That's what a politician does. Somebody give him an envelope of 50,000 shillings to go up and say that the Chinese are no good, you should watch out for him. He's going to sing it to his supporters. And then the next thing you know, he's back talking about, we got 5 new contracts with the Chinese in my county. And he's okay with them then. But it's just a campaign, a propaganda, brought on by the West to try to effectively affect the Kenyans' opinion about Chinese within their own country. But you have to ask yourself, how real are these things? They said that they were going to take over the Zambian electric company, and it never happened. And the Zambian government came on and said that's just a rumor. That's nothing like that. And we've been doing business with the Chinese since the 1960s. I was shocked, and I had to copy that news interview and put it on my channel because there's nobody else putting anything else like it. The Zambian government had never said anything else. They were doing the interview on South African TV, not even their own TV station. So I don't know what's wrong with these governments. They better be taking care, because I'm here on the ground, and this thing affects people's brains. Right now, if you ask most people what they think about the Chinese, they got questions. They're questionable about the Chinese. Even though something like 5 million Kenyans are directly or indirectly being paid by the Chinese here in their own country, based on all the infrastructure work that they're doing. 90% of the workers that did the SGR were Kenyan. So people talking about the Chinese, let's get rid of them. You're talking about taking the food off of a lot of Kenyans' tables. So somebody should be talking. Of course, there's going to be problems between two cultures. That's anywhere. You go to America, you're going to be treated badly by the white man on a job. So I don't know why you seem like you don't equate that treatment bad with the personality of the people. But in Africa, you're really ready to say that not only does this show bad character for this Chinese boss of mine, but I'm gonna extend it and say all Chinese are racist and bad because I got a story that had a problem with my one Chinese boss. That's not gonna happen. My nuclear family and some extended family members have passports. Mississippi 4589. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, have you adopted an African country that you want to go to? Kenya, take Kenya. Okay, that everybody that knows me know I'm pro Kenyan 100%, because I have been to other African countries and I've seen like this one is the best one. And I've choose this one, and I try to tell people, don't choose Kenya over Ghana for your first trip. Ghana is too small. Too many blacks are running around Accra with no job, no means of support. Some of them are selling fruit. You have the same situation in Ghana that you have in America, where you have the choice between medium-sized apartments at the same prices that they have in the United States, And then from there, if you don't take that, the next one is just a drop down to the small huts and the villages, in the village life. And there are Black Americans that are living in the village life right now because they can't afford that type of housing, and there's nothing in between. But here in Kenya, it's cheaper to live in Kenya than it is to live in Ghana, and they do have a lot of one-room complexes that are at $20 and $30 a month that you can live in, and then pick yourself up from there. Now, during my time here in Kenya, I had to live. I had gotten very low, and I was living like in those same apartments for one room apartments for some time until I was able to boost myself back up and get myself situated, and then move up to a higher standard. There's nothing wrong with that, and Kenya has plenty of housing like that because most of the young people do leave their parents and they get these type of houses until they can build themselves up, and it works out really well. So that's why I would say come to Kenya, and then Kenya is like 3 times the size and got 10 times the opportunities, and the economy in Kenya is diverse. Ghana is heavily dependent on there. There's also secret CIA headquarters in Ghana. It's because of the French country that surround it. It's just, I think it's a big lie to say like Ghana can really support you financially. You can actually, live there. You really can't live there without somebody supporting you from the outside. And you have a lot of blacks that are there living off their retirement money, but thumbing their nose up in the air at young people that are trying to come and just try to make a new living for themselves. If you come in and you want to try to make a living for yourself, find a job, find work, do business, then Ghana is not the best place for that. Ghana is not the best place for that. Kenya is the best place for that because the language is easier. Most of the business population speaks English. There's a lot of money in the system. Kenyans are hustlers. There's a lot of people that will, you can find to work for you, and there'll be good, solid workers are available here. If you want to go up and level like that, Kenya is now digitalizing itself. Government is now using computers for a lot of things, and the public is trying to play catch up. The widest selection of phone use is here. More cars are imported to Kenya than any other African country. So there's a lot of business being done in those areas. Real estate is just booming here because the population doubles every 25 years. The population in Kenya doubles every 25 years. So if you bought a piece of land and you can see down the road that there was some houses, but you're just got a piece of land and there's nothing there, trust me, in 25 years, that population is going to move up to where you are. And when you talk about opening up in a business, then you're going to need customers. And with the economy, with the number of people growing, your customer base is going to grow. It's just like that. All my businesses grow because the customer base grows. The school that I'm working at, I've just seen it go up like 10% since I've been there. And I've been there like, it's my 3rd year. So up already 10% from when I came. Number of students that entered the school. Well, a lot of it's because of my program, but it's attracting a lot of new students. But it's still, the schools are really overcrowded because they can't build enough fast enough to keep up with the population. Okay, Lee Monchi, we have learned from the Chinese to be self-dependent. Yeah. T, I will not live in Africa until there is a United States of Africa. By then, I'll probably be dead. Okay, well, you'll be, I don't know why because see, you have to realize this, T. You're going to come to Africa and either you're going to be on Social Security, I don't know, or you're going to find a small business somewhere or something like that. Your day-to-day living will not affect whether there's a United Africa or not, because your day-to-day living, that don't affect you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm here now. I don't have no connections with Tanzania or Uganda. You get what I'm saying? So what do you mean? And then, of course, now, the East African community is there, and it's very powerful. You can go from Tanzania to Uganda and Uganda and do and then soon you're going to be able to go to DRC Congo, because they're joining the East African community hopefully sometime soon. And United States of Africa, there it is. Then the African Free Trade Agreement is in effect right now. So all borders will be dropped as far as taking goods and walking back and forth. There'll be no need for visas to go from one African country to another. And already a lot of countries have dropped that visa situation already. And they're talking about a one type of currency for trade only. So a lot of things are happening here to unite the African countries. African countries know they need to drop all these borders that were brought up by colonization. If you came now, you could be a part of that. But if you wait till you're dead, then you'll be buried in the white man's land. Damn, the people that enslaved you. You didn't get out. So I suggest to you that if you're not just talking, that you just get your money together and take that trip. We're having a trip in April 2020. Get on Facebook and be a part of it. Buddha Nubian. Everybody hates each other in America. Yeah, people come to Africa and they say, "Oh, the Africans are so friendly." It's not that the Africans are so friendly. It's just that the people in America are so rude. You're rude and they don't want to talk to each other. The rat race is serious. So that's one of the best benefits you're going to get here. And if you learn how to take advantage of the people that are friendly, you'll go far in this country. Traveling man, Kenya over Nigeria, Africa's largest wild Jesus salutes, etc. Okay, I know I'm not going to get many goodie points for this. Let me say this before I say that. We got a new way to support this channel. We don't have super chat here, and we don't have Patreon, because the things that we talk about on this channel are deeply serious, and they really go against the United States, because we're actually telling people they should leave the United States. So for that reason, I've seen so many people get their channels demonetized because of statements they made about gays or something like that, gayism in the country, and then they cut them off. And I want to be able to be free and talk to you about anything without having to worry about what I say. And you may not believe it or not, some of you people in the chat room, you don't understand that a lot of these content providers, they have been warned. And so they know what they can talk about and what they can't talk about. So I'm telling you that when we do like this, it's a direct payment to me. It's not add to the taxes. This is my wife Eva's name here. That's the contact. This is the phone number. And using World Remit. Some of you know we use Western Union. You can get the information in the comment section. I'll put it there if I have not updated it yet. Traveling man, whites feel they did us a favor. Instead of lying and lions, they got cars and coats. Okay, them favors. Okay, yeah. Emmanuel Mills, what's up? Hey Emmanuel, yeah, I know you from back. Good to see you. T, in April I'm visiting Zambia. What advice can you give me? Go visit all those countries. Go to Zimbabwe, Rwanda, and Ghana first, since you already got that going. Good. And then after you finish that, come to Kenya, so you'll see what I'm talking about. You compare Kenya with the rest of those countries, then you know what I'm talking about. How much would it take to come to Africa? If you're going to go for the 10-day trip, we're looking at $2,000 to $2,500. Yes, it's very inexpensive. And that's food inclusive. So I think breakfast and dinner, not lunch, for 10 days. And then we're going to go around and meet business people. We're going to go around to the school system. It's not like you go to the beach. You can go to the beach. You can go to see the wild animals, but at the same time, it's a fact-finding mission to find out if Africa is all it says they say it is. And you can't just go to all of the tourist destinations and say, yeah, Africa is good. No, you have to go see the real Kenyans and meet them. Since I've been here 21 years, I got so many contacts There's so many people that will be glad to come and talk to you about their business, and we can go to certain areas where the tourist people would never take you. There are beautiful places here that tourists don't go to because it's a far distance from the hotel, or there's no real establishment for them to make money. You just go there and like that, but it's beautiful, and this is what we're planning on the trip. We just started it, and we have a group site on Facebook, and people are just now starting to register. The seating is limited though, and it's a $30 registration if you want to be one of the numbers. Nigeria have Jesus. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So let me say this is what I wanted to say. Nigeria, okay, I got a lot of flack for this. The problem with Nigeria is, and this is what many people won't tell you. You hear about the scammers and all those people that's doing bad stuff in Nigeria, and Nigerians are, you scammers, and you look at them and they're always doing these mischievous things. Well, the problem with Nigeria is that it's going through a transition. The government's educational system can't afford to uh, educate the whole populace. And in fact, there's a large section, some say 10%, some say it's higher, of Nigerians who don't believe in education. They believe in their tribal beliefs. They believe in, they believe in voodoo, and not just voodoo is. I'm not saying in a negative way, but they believe in voodoo. They believe in these their African traditions. They don't believe in having a president. They believe that they have a monarchy or a king of a village, and it's like this, and it works out for the majority of them. But you see, when you get to places like Lagos and you have people there that don't believe in education, then they try to survive in the city, which deals with money, which has to deal with business, which business is run based on education and knowledge. Then you see you have a lot of people that are faking that they're educated, and some of them indeed don't go to school but teach themselves how to read and write. They're Nigerians are very resourceful. Don't get me wrong, but in order for a lot of them to survive, they have to go through scams and things like this. And then, depending on how the poor child was brought up, they tend to believe that they are smarter than people that are academically educated in college, and they tend to resent them because it shows that they have knowledge. And then those people that have college education in Nigeria, they look down on people that don't have it, and so you have this cross culture. So when they see people that can take, if a person doesn't have an education, and then he sees he can take advantage of somebody who has academic education, but they're not streetwise or whatever, they take advantage of them. So when a foreigner comes into the country, that's like fresh meat. You know what I mean? That's like ringing the dinner bell. And so you will get a lot of people that will come to you. They're not gonna walk up to you, hey, I'm a scammer. No, they're gonna come up, try to be your friend, be nice to you, and then if they can take advantage of you somehow, they will do that. Some of them, will do that, and they have been doing that. Other those they go in, they teach themselves computers, and then they come up, they become very good hackers. They can't read or write, but they can get on a goddamn computer and break into so many people's passwords. And this is where it is now. And this is my research. They had something like 9 million primary school kids that are not in school. So I'm not putting Nigeria down. I'm just trying to explain my research, what I found, and the reason why they have this the stigma about Nigerians, and that's the basis root of it. Now you have the same thing in Kenya, but it's not to that extent. I mean, the government is understanding the problem about illiteracy and how it can really affect the society. And one of the points of Kenyan government was to give out free primary school education, which they have done, and free secondary education. Now, the president has come forth this year and said every kid that finishes primary school will be going to high school. We'll have a slot for him to go to high school. And that's a big statement, but this shows the seriousness of Kenya that wants to make sure that their populace is educated. Okay, I hope you guys are hearing me now. You guys are so not saying anything. Mr. Ra can pay you the consultation or even pay you for the Skype call if I have additional questions about moving to Africa. Okay, Meek Marketing Live. This is what we do here. Go to Facebook and go to Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa. Black Man's Guide to Move. I'm gonna put it in the thingy here. I gotta open up the thing and send it. I'm gonna put the link here, and then uh, that is where you can get me. I'll wait for that to roll out, then I can give it to you. Okay, Emmanuel, yes, sir. Doc Jameen, I'm visiting Kenya in January and I want to learn how I can start a business there. What advice can you give me? When you come in January, look me up. I'll be here in Mombasa. And then I go to Nairobi like every month, so you'll see me either one of the two places. If you're lucky, don't be like African Superstar. She was so unlucky. She's come to Kenya twice and we've missed each other. But she don't say that she's coming. She just say I'm in Nairobi. I'm like, what? But if she would have gave me a heads up, we could have been able to meet. But if you come, we can sit down and I'll give you the 411 on everything. A Ghanaian girl tried to get me to give her $220 to pay her mother's hospital stay in the hospital for high blood pressure. Do they really think people are so simple? They're trying. And there's some people that give out that money. Because I met a chick and then she told me to come move in with her. I moved in with her, and then like the second day the lights went out. Boop. Then they told me, oh, it's a $60 electric bill that has to be paid. So who do you think paid it? Because I wanted to see what I was getting at night. So those kind of things come up. Depending on where you are. And we have a black mentality that says oh man, don't you know I'm never gonna give you money for this show. That's not in me. I've never paid. This internet is free. You're a fool for talking to me and not. You think I'm going to pay money to listen to you? No way, man. I'm gonna get all your information and then I'm gonna use it and then I'm gonna laugh because I didn't pay. That's how we are. But you see, when you come to Africa, you're gonna have a different type of mentality. If you stay here, you will. I don't even have to tell you. I can pay you for consultation. You don't have to pay me for consultation, bro. All you gotta do is do the necessary. Go in here and send $10 or $5 if you're that way, or $20 and support the channel. Okay? Because this channel, you're not gonna find nothing like this on YouTube. Somebody coming to you. I'm in Africa right now. We're struggling with the internet because I'm coming from you to talking to you from 3,000 miles away. So you want to ask me something about Kenya? I'm your authority. Now you tell me where you're going to get that from somebody else. These major guys that are talking. Some of them, they've never even come to Africa and lived. They just come for a 2-week visit and then they go back in their authority on Africa. No, they're not an authority. Again, okay, yeah. So you just have to deal with that. That's just a change in the environment. Depending on what kind of girl you get. And tell me a little about the Sudan. Kenya is one of the countries that really helped Sudan during their independence. I hope you're talking about South Sudan, not Sudan. And when South Sudan broke off and became a new country, everybody was happy, and Kenyans went down there to do business in South Sudan because they thought the country was going to grow and be something big. And then, sure enough, the government still fighting. They're still fighting and trying to adjust themselves there. I think they just got a peace treaty there. But the Sudanese are not like black people, sub-Saharan black people. Sudanese and the Ethiopians are not like the normal black people. They're not like Bantu. I don't know what you call it, but you just kind of get around them and you can just see like they're not like the regular. Even the other Africans don't kind of get along with them. So Kenyans end up coming back from South Sudan because of the problems that were going on there. So I think maybe in another 10 years, when they get the oil pipeline down, and then they can squash all of these power, they're fighting for power, these different groups, because that's all they've known all along, And just like with China went through 40 years of civil war, and before they got their stuff together. So that's what's happening in South Sudan right now. D-Nubian, that $20 probably would be 2,200 in American money. No, it's the other way around. If you pay $200, that's 20,000 Kenyan shillings. $200 is like rent money for a 2-bedroom house. A300 pilot steer. I'm in aviation. Would love to work with the youth there promoting this field. Is the airline government. I know people in the airline business. Where do they get their pilots, military pilots, and the options there? They've got military colleges here. I mean, not military colleges, but aviation colleges here where they teach students on aviation. Yeah, so many kids want to be pilots and work for Kenya Airways. But yeah, there's no shortage of youth that want to be trained when you come here. The average age of the Kenyans is like 15 years. No, 19 years. Hey, put that bottle down. So definitely is a lot of youth here. Most of the population is youth. I'm in for a hospital bill. Hospital bill? I don't get that. A300 pilot stirred. Yeah, if you're just new to this channel, you don't have to thank me, bro. That's what we do here. This is why this channel is different. A lot of these guys, they come in and they don't talk on the chat line, but I do. I hope my channel don't grow too big. Although it has really been booming. I don't know why people are coming. I'm surprised. I thought I had 100 views. I was happy. Now my videos are getting like 400 views. I want to thank you guys for that. But I see this makeup works, so we might have to be using this kind of situation. I'm going to use this exact modem and this exact laptop, and every time. This one here, I don't know. Sometimes it's nice, but otherwise, it does give me problems. The Sheba Israel. If a person is in the medical field of work, could they be of help or make money and live in Africa? Okay, if you're black in America, I think you saw the articles that they wrote. There is a thing here, and he's good at flying. Where they said a black doctor makes $35,000 less than a white doctor in the United States simply because he's black. So that's one thing I want to point out to you. The other thing is Africans are not sickly like Americans are sickly, and Africa doesn't have a serious issue with insurance the way America has with insurance. And these kind of things, they affect the way hospitals do business, doing it with insurance money and things like that. So the medical field is here. It's just much more straightforward as opposed to having a lot of specialties. And, people got cancer, they got this wing, that one. They don't have all of that here. And they're trying to keep up with the West somehow, but really they don't make money like that. So they don't make up diseases like they make up AIDS and then tell you pay money for millions of fake drugs, kind of things like that here. So if you like to make, helping people get well, then that's what you'll get. But as far as becoming a millionaire doctor, like on TV, no, you won't get that. I think the doctors were on strike the other day. G Newman, just like the $40 apartment, there would be a $900 apartment there. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, rent is very inexpensive here. So if you have some sort of medium income coming from the United States, like $100 or $300, or you do well if you can get that money coming to you every month. So another thing you can do, you can depend on relatives to send you $50 here or there. You can survive. Brother I'm an auto technician and cogeneration service technician. I want to open up auto parts company. All right. On that issue, there is somehow a new thing where you can get things from like Walmart here in Kenya and in some African countries. So they are experimenting with that. So another thing is that China has really a lot of these things covered. They have a lot of ways to get parts. Most of the parts coming from places is Chinese. You know, they deal in import. So if you're going to open a parts store, you're going to need to get your parts. You need to have a good price for your parts. And then clientele, you would have a lot of competition with the Chinese there in that area. Now, one of the things that going on here is that they have borders now here called the motorcycles. Motorcycle transportation is big. There's many of them, and it's not going to end anytime soon. And a lot of these places are popping up with little motorcycle shops to help fix motorcycles. The Nissan industry, the Matatu, the little vans that they have, they've been around for a long time. They already have established areas, and it's really hard to break into those areas as far as fixing technical field. But like I said, the country is growing. You start off one area and you can move to another one. It's starting to rain here. That might be another reason why the line was going down. Brother Amin, I'm okay. In Africa, most likely Kenya. Okay. Yeah, definitely come to Kenya. I'm telling you. You won't be disappointed. As opposed to if you go to Ghana, you'll be disappointed. Ghana, imagine Ghana, they built their own car from, they use that Chinese parts, but they put together, they got an automobile factory. They built their own car called the Katana, and it's not selling in the country. The government came out there and they took rides in the car. It was all excited. Then the next month, the government went up, did a contract with Toyota instead of their own country that's building the cars. So yeah, you get a lot of that. So you really got to come here and see the market and get into the way the market is making money. It's making money, but you just can't walk in the door with American mindset and then expect to make money. You got to do things the African way. Now, I'm giving you some high price information here when I tell you, just remember that the African is very conservative when he's dealing with money. Okay. Or my owner automobile service shop. Most Kenya has imports more used cars than any other African country. So there's a big business there. And cars are everywhere. Car economy is booming. People are buying cars left and right. Streets are always crowded with cars nowadays. And I remember a time it wasn't. I remember when I first came here, I used to look at the people passing by in the cars, and it was like very few of them were African. It was like Asians, Indians, and then now it's all black. Yes, HIV is what? Man-made. Okay, there's no such thing as HIV. I said it. Yeah, I said it. They have never shown the HIV virus living actively in a human body. In other words, they pull body out of a human, put it under the microscope, and say, there's the virus. They never done that. There's no medical paper to show that. Therefore, HIV doesn't exist. Therefore, AIDS is a lie. That's my take. I did the research. And I don't know what all these other people are talking about. Because if you can't show the actual proof, and I don't mean in the test tube, then how can you say that there's HIV virus? AK, thanks for staying with me, bro. I know I've been having a problem with the line. But it's raining, and that might be why the line was messing up. Because it takes time for the rain to come from the beach all the way inland here. I'm about 20 minutes from the beach. The auto part business is very good in Kenya. Yes, okay. Tell them. I'm a technician. Good. If you're a specialist in mechanic, you can make or import speed governors. Yeah. because that's against, it's the law that they have to have speak governance, which is now big business. Thank you for that, AK, helping me out there. I should make you an administrator. These devils made it in a laboratory. They didn't make it. It's not there. This is propaganda. They say something many times, and enough times, and people just believe it's true. But I'm trying to help you here. Know the value. Know the value of me, man. I don't know how you stumbled across me, but know the value of me. Now listen to me closely. There is no medical journal paper or anything that shows the HIV virus under a microscope from human blood. They can show you pictures and cartoons of things and tell you that's HIV. No, because that's what they usually do. They just show you cartoons and say that's HIV. No, there is no record of an HIV virus. That's why when they go test you, they test you for antibodies. There's no virus that they test you. And then when you go AIDS, what happens to the HIV virus? It just disappears. Then you die of the mysterious disease, one of the listed diseases there. So if you just do your research, you'll see that this whole thing is just a big joke. And that's the seriousness of how bad propaganda is and how they use that propaganda to distort our minds. Okay. So Kenya would be the best place to live in Africa for a person coming from the States. Each person is different. Okay. And I'm not talking about myself. Okay, for me, yeah, I like Kenya. I chose Kenya, yeah. But at the same time, I'm here doing the research and I'm trying to give you guys the best advice. Kenya is the best place for your first destination to Africa, not Ghana. You can't get the full effect of what Africa is. They don't speak Swahili in Ghana. And Swahili is the number one language in Africa. They speak Swahili in Kenya. And that means they speak Swahili you speak a language. The people here connected to each other. 100 million people connect with that language. Okay, Ghana is surrounded by Franco countries. So if you wanted to go from Ghana to Nigeria, you got to go through 2 French countries, and you got to buy visas and pay toll fees to those countries to get through. They see you coming, so you can't take goods from Ghana to Nigeria or Nigeria back to Ghana. You see. So, or Cameroon, you're just having a lot of problems because of that. So if you even want to think about expanding a business or have your children get in there and expand the business, then you're just stuck in a small country that's not connected to any type of thing. But in Kenya, you got all these African countries that's all connected through free and borders and the East African community is even trying to get their own currency together. So it makes it a lot better for us trade and then opportunities and then sightseeing. You don't have to worry about going back because you're in one African country, you can just walk into the next one. But you can't do that in Ghana. Ghana is heavily dependent on oil, which they can't even get that shit to work out the ground. I'm still having problems with it. Now Kenya is an oil producing country also, but its economy is very diversified, not like Ghana's. It's either gold, and all gold is controlled by foreign nationals, companies. So they don't even own their own gold. So, they get revenue for people taking gold out, but not so much. So, yeah. I don't know why they're propping up Ghana like that. And I'd be suspicious, considering propaganda, how they can propaganda our minds and make most of us go to Ghana instead of anywhere else. They know we're going to fail if we go to Ghana. That's just my opinion. And so don't be mad at me, okay? You people from Ghana out there. I'm just telling you the truth. I ain't said nothing that's a lie. Your country is surrounded by Franco countries. It's a small country. Your country is heavily dependent on 1 or 2 factors, gold and oil. That's a fact. If you go outside of Ghana, you're going to have to pay visa fees and toll fees all along the way to go to another English-speaking country. That's a fact. You don't speak Swahili in Ghana. That's a fact. So when you get mad at me, because I'm telling you the facts, surely. Okay. Gwenda 9, how are you, my girl? So it's finally, thank you for coming. Oh, wait, got top 10. What about Dr. Robert Gallo, the guy that helped create HIV? Dr. Robert Gallo, I was there when he came out. The FDA proved what he's saying. The government said his is the motto. That's all we're gonna say. Dr. Robert Gallo also said that you couldn't, during that first interview in 1984 when he was talking about, he was saying you can't, HIV can't be AIDS can't be transferred through anal sex. But you see, they flipped that too. So this thing with Dr. Robert, instead of dealing with Dr. Robert Gallo, to go look up Dr. Peter Duesberg and listen to what he said. So he's been a proponent. They're all old now, but he was a proponent against it. President Thabo Mbeki did a conference, and he brought all the people that said HIV caused AIDS together, and all the people who said that there was no such thing as AIDS. They came together, put them in a conference room, paid for everybody, and told them, go at it and tell me what the results are. And then they did it like a court case. And at the end of it all, they said the people that said HIV caused AIDS could not prove their argument, because they walked into the room talking about this is HIV, and it was in a test tube. And then the other side said you can put anything in a test tube. You got to show that it's proof living in the human body and for it to be real. And then from there, they just lost. But you don't hear about that because obviously they don't want you to know about those things. But see, I follow that type of research. Okay, so from the first cases of AIDS in San Francisco, I was there. And you can go Google, go to YouTube and search Tony Brown's journal, AIDS. That's Tony Brown's journal, AIDS. He followed it and brought those people out at the exact same time when this whole situation with HIV was coming out. And then people were telling him, there's nothing like that. I don't know what Dr. Robert Gallo, I talked to him yesterday, is nonsense. It's like that. So, yeah. Yayo Z, I moved next year to Angola. Great. Angola's a big country. Got a lot of wealth. Do you know anything about Tanzania? Tanzania, the problem with Tanzania, if you're a black man person coming from the United States, the problem with Tanzania is the language. They're heavily speakers of Swahili and don't like speaking English. So you get out there and you have that language barrier, and it can be really rough in Tanzania. So Kenya would be better because you don't have that problem. Everybody basically speaks English that does business, and the country is more modern and they're more westernized type of atmosphere. So where Tanzania, they have a lot of traditions that they follow there, and they're not as hustlers like Kenyans are in Tanzania. But if you want just an African life, kick back, get good food, get you a good woman, have kids, and sit in the, Tanzania might be okay for you. But you see, now when you have your children, they're gonna be bored if they speak in English. But they probably won't speak English. They'll probably speak Swahili anyway. So that's up to them. Nissan sells electric cars in Nairobi. It's not that big now. Oh, they started already doing electric cars. Wow. Yeah, that should catch on. I don't watch the news, so I don't really see what those stories. I know they come out with these stories. Oh, somebody built a new car, but then you don't hear nothing else after that. After they say Uganda built an electric car, that green car, and then nothing. Google it, Uganda electric car. What happened to it? They were supposed to be putting it in mass production, and they didn't do it. Why is Ghana so welcoming to African diaspora than countries like Kenya? Countries like Kenya do business internationally with all type of countries, so they can't come out and say, "Come on, black people, come." No, the government is as such as it's saying that we treat everybody equally, every country. So it would be not a good business move with Kenya to come and start focusing on black people, because they're doing business with all these other countries, including European countries. The president of Kenya, the first president of Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta, when he got into power, the first thing he did is he said, let's forget about the past and let's work together. And he tried to keep whites there so they would keep their businesses in the country. And basically he was successful at doing that. But to come around and start saying black people come, yeah, that'd be a problem for someone like Kenya, because they have laws in the books that say you can do this and you can do that, and this is how you do that. Now that Kenya has dual citizenship, so you can come here and become a Kenyan citizen and keep your U.S. passport. So They have all those things. You know, you can get your visa on arrival, so you don't have to go through all that process. You just land in the airport. They give you a visa for 6 months. You walk around the country. So they have all those amenities for you, but they just have it like any country. You see, whether you're black, whether you're Mexican, it doesn't matter. That's the way the Kenya government does it. So they're gonna advertise the country, especially for tourism, because Kenya is a tourist country. People don't know, 1 million visitors come here every year, and that's another reason why they have to do certain things certain ways. They can't just come out and say, "Black people, we help you." But behind the scenes with me, they're always ready to help me under the table. So man, I mean, you're going to be arrested. And then the guy come look over there. The guy come over here, no problem, man. You just go. Okay. It's like that. So they know who we are, but the government is just not going to be out there with that. So I would be suspicious of a country that tell you black people come. No, I'd be suspicious. Well, that's good news. Okay. They just promoted it more in Ghana, but I have been hearing about Senegal and Ethiopia for years, and Kenya been offering visas to blacks a lot back in 2008. Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened in 2008. I can't remember that far back about if they was promoting blacks, but then again, I had already been living in the country for 8 years at that time. Oh no, 2008 to 19, 12 years. Sorry, in 2000 I was here already 12 years. Does Africa have Chick-fil-A? I don't know what that is. Troy DeSoli, my good brother, have you ever lived in Ethiopia? No, I've never lived in Ethiopia. I did a lot of research with Ethiopia. There's a lot of big Ethiopian community here in Nairobi. They are not like Kenyans. They're not. People say that it's different. You want to connect with the people that you live with, and you can connect better with Kenyans than you can with Ethiopians. For some reason, I don't know what reason why. I'm not going to go live in Ethiopia to figure that out. Ugandan is called the Kira. It was the problem with the cooling system. Oh, they're working on it. Okay, that's the problem with the electric car cooling system. Okay, I used to work on cars, and that's not a big deal then. Just maybe with electric car, but how are you gonna have a cooling problem with an electric car? I don't know how you do that. So you tell me. Gala, why are you guys giving me these hard names? This is not even a name. This is just initials. Ga, okay, AAIC. Ghana is not the only country in Africa, and you're missing out a lot by focusing only on Ghana, my Black America. Yeah, Ghana got CIA got a headquarters in Ghana. So I wonder what they're doing over there. They forced the president out of office, the first president of Ghana. So you see, I'd be careful. GT Realist, thanks for hanging in there, brother, to the problems with the net. Thanks, AK. Link me with planning to come trip to Kenya in June. Come, baby, come. Yosi, I'd like to know more about the free trade agreement when the brothers gonna open properly. Okay, they're at the implementation stage now with the African Free Trade Agreement. 27 countries have been involved in that, and they're determined to go through with it. As you know, they were complaining that Nigeria was not on board, but then at the last minute, Nigeria signed and became part of the free trade agreement. So the West used their propaganda to say that all countries were not going to implement it. I'm sure they probably have a few agents running around trying to stop it from happening. If not, then they're going to see a lot of propaganda talking about how it's not working. But believe me, if they drop the fees from border to border, you're going to see it's working. I'd like to know more about the free trade agreement. Yeah, I just told you. Denubian, I stick out like a sore thumb there with my yellow ass. Okay, if your yellow ass is if your ass is yellow, just put some pants on and then nobody can see it. You see, you have no problem. But anyway, they're light skinned blacks here. Anyway, but see, Africans are not like it's not like in the United States where they judge you based on your skin color. Africans see everybody equally until you talk, and then that's when you start having your issues. So uh, it can be good issues or bad issues. But if you're light skinned, definitely you're gonna get a husband very quickly. No problem. I live around Ethiopians in the U.S. and they were not friendly. Yeah, you kind of get that problem. You know, I have a black belt that I trained from white belt to black belt. He was an Ethiopian. He Tedros, and he was nice. You know, but we didn't really associate somehow. It's something I can't put my finger on it, but it's like they're your distant cousin, but they're not like your brother. But when you go around Kenyans, it's like it's like you the same music. They don't know how to dance like us. They're not that good at sports like us, but somehow they're more real. You can deal with them and talk to them. We had the same sense of humor. It's like the Ethiopians; they don't have that same black sense of humor, but you can get a Kenyan to get your sense of humor. Uh, thank you. Okay. Somebody deleted the message. Why is that? Met some cool 5 Trey Bloods in Nairobi. Legion 1225. Okay, you. I don't get that one. Cool 5 Trey Bloods. I hope you're not talking about gang members in Nairobi. Anyway, if you guys like the show today, we really struggled to give you this one. For you people that have just coming in and seeing the show on live, please do the necessary to support the channel. Really appreciate that. And we move forward uh, with the next show and the next show and the next show. And today's show was about what would we do in Africa. I mean, how would a financial crisis in the U.S. affect us in Africa? And we went through that. My points on that issue after living here for so many years and going through being in Kenya when we had the last financial crisis in 2008, and I discussed about how it affected us here in Kenya. But you have to go back and rewind the video to see what I said. So once again, this is Grandmaster Amin Ra coming to you live from Mombasa, Kenya, where we had to go 3 times before we got it right. And that just shows the persistence that I have for the group. You can be assured that I'll be back again with some more videos. And I can be assured that somebody out there is going to be a new supporter of this channel. Make sure you click Mpesa when you send your support. Okay, you guys are now you're back online. Huh? Ethiopians have a lot of air blood. Valerie, that may explain a lot of it. Yes. Doc Jameen, it's difficult for me to send money through Western Union because I live in China, but I will bless you with a donation when I get there. That's okay. Good. Emerald Mills, peace, my brother. Doc Jameen, are you African or Black American living in China? Maybe you can tell us what your experiences are. I know you Chinese are not that friendly. Thank you, brother. Peace. Okay, guys. So we'll see you guys the next time. Please check out the other videos that we have outside. Anytime you need some information, I'm always available at all. I forgot to give you the link. Let me give you the link before I go. Shoot, I'm sorry. Hmm. Things are running slow today. Okay, here's the link. I'm gonna put it in the chat. we do screen the people that come onto the that try to join us. So if you got 5,000 group sites that you're available to, you might not get a. You might be able to just visit the site, but you might not be a member of the group. Young 10 again. We're still working with Western Union. You can use the same information uh, from here down. Make sure you put mobile wallet and Mpesa. But you can either go to worldremit.com or westernunion.com. World Remit is very easy to sign up and send money, so that's why we're using it. When is the best time to travel to Kenya? Weather. Kenya's got good weather all year round. They tell you the rainy season, but it doesn't get cold when it rains here. Then the rains are periodic. They don't last like for hours. It maybe 20 minutes, then it stops. So sometimes, like here, it rains in the morning, and then all day it's sunny. Then maybe in the evening it might rain a bit, like that. But the weather is beautiful. We're on the equator, so you're gonna get really beautiful weather all year round. We have a trip coming in April, in late April, early May. If you want to get involved in it, go to the group site and then scroll down and see the information there. Now, our group site is over 8 years old. Yes, I've been doing this long before the rest of these guys have been talking about moving to Africa. I've been waiting on you guys to see the light. It's only recently that guys now start to see that, okay, America, you're just not going to be your friend. And I've been trying to tell you that. I came here 21 years ago. I'm trying to tell you I'm ahead of the game. But you don't know me yet, so you don't know when I'm talking to you. Some of the things I say, you might feel like that's not true. But at the end of the day, you're going to see, damn, Jim Ra was right. Because I don't talk about things I don't know nothing about. So that's the case. Young, I signed up with World Remit app. It's easy, and they have promos 3 times sending free. Well, that's fantastic. Then GT, really? I should be seeing you. Somebody may have sent me something. I didn't see the number yet. Amin Ra, have you tried to get Dynas on your show? I've been on Dynas show like 25 times. Yeah, that's right. Dynas used to put me on the show 25 times till I figured I should do my own show because Dynas didn't have enough, give me enough time to say everything I wanted to say. And it was Dynas and O'Shea that really inspired me to come and start my own show. And so we have a very young show. We're just getting our first videos at 600 views. Wow, that's amazing. And this is all new to me. So I've been on Phil Scott's show also on the African diaspora. And of course, O'Shea Jackson's show a couple of times there. They tried to beat me up on O'Shea Jackson's show, but they couldn't. I was just too good. So it kept them quiet at the end of the day. What are we going to do in Africa? Africa ain't no good. What's that? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So America's great, huh? And so they shut up. Are you from Crenshaw District in LA? Crenshaw, hey, Lamert Park, yeah. So, yeah, I'm from that area. In fact, my first apartment was in Lamert Park. I probably couldn't afford it today, but yeah, I grew up in that area. Western Avenue, King Boulevard, Crenshaw, La Brea, Pico Boulevard, all those areas, that's me. Yeah, he's from LA. I got an LA accent. I'm not only from LA, but I was born in LA. So many people can't really say that. To be 60 years old, be born in LA, because in those days, most people just came from the South to come to LA. But I was the first one in my family to be born in LA. Greetings, GM. The picture looks good. The signal is reasonably consistent. Sound is good. Quaalude Black, thank you, man. I'm trying, We're just a new channel. We're trying to figure out what the combination of things work. So I got a lot of options here. We just had to keep trying them. Have you did a video in, what's that? Memorandum 46? No, tell me what that is, Queen of Sheba. What is Memorandum 46? I don't know that. And I'm always ready to learn. You know how much knowledge I have? I have about this much knowledge. Let me see. Yeah. So I'm always looking for knowledge. So things I don't know. So let me know. The picture gets better too. Okay, thank you. There are Buku Kuns on O'Shea's channel. Yes, Brenda DG Nubian. Yes, they was trying to get me. O'Shea was trying. It was nice, but the rest of them was like, "What?" But then I was calling them out. So it's just lucky they didn't get me on. I didn't have them on my show because I would have been. It's no. Listen, people, you don't have no choice. You need to get an African plan. And if you heard that before, remember I'm the one who said it first. You must get an African plan if you're living in the United States. It's just too critical now. And if you have children and you're gonna bring them up in the educational system there, where they're gonna learn about gay and lesbian in the histories of the United States, you need an African plan. You can get your children and have them educated in Africa far cheaper than you have them been raised in the United States. Here they have boarding schools, and you can send your child here, put them in a boarding school, and then with the exchange rate, you'll be surprised at how much money you save. Plus, you don't have to worry about your teenage son or daughter being pregnant, putting on drugs, doing violence, going into gangs, and all kind of other things, going into homosexuality. These are all these things are waiting for them in the United States. It's terrible, and it really destroys families. But you can get your kid out of that, give them a good education, and have them have an African base. All their friends will be African, and then they can work in the system. And then they'll tell you, "Dad, I want you to bring you a ticket to come to Kenya." Wow, that'd be great. Old man with young children. Yeah, that's me. Grandmaster, how are you doing, my brother Mustafa, the Muslim man? I've not seen you in a long time. What's happening? Mustafa, the Muslim man. Assalamu alaikum. And yeah. For some people that are Muslims in the United States, Mombasa would be great for you too, because we have mosque on one side and then churches on the other side. The Christians and Muslims, they basically get along okay. You don't really see no big fraction or fights, or not big, or even any. So people just get along here. It's just very peaceful. People just want to do their own thing. They can worship what they want. Yeah, you'll find it really nice here. Mississippi 4089. What part of South are your people from? South? Oh, my people are from Cincinnati. My mom in Cincinnati. My father's from Kentucky. But like I said, I was the first one born in Los Angeles, and I didn't really have a connection with the people back home. Kwaku Black, definitely a huge upgrade from my conversation with Dinus from the early this year. Okay, upgrade. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, Mustafa. Yeah. Memorandum 46 is a memo created in 1978 when Jimmy Carter was in office. America wanted to create division between African Americans and Africans. They knew if we united, the world would collapse. Yeah. It's not if we connect. What's that? Anybody can connect. But if we go back to Africa, that is the problem that they fear. The greatest fear of the white man in America is black people leaving in mass numbers. And the only place you can really go and live in mass and have a direct effect on an economy and live a decent life and have your children live a decent life is if you move back to Africa. So this is the key. And this is the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand. For me, I have an uncanny ability to see the future and work towards a solution. And I'm here to tell you that the solution is for black people is not to live in America. And the only way you can defeat racism is by taking yourself out of America. You see, if you're in a poker game and you're constantly losing your money, what's the best way to hurt the guy that's been beating you? Is to leave the game. So therefore, he can't take your money. You get what I'm saying? And if they have nobody to replace you, then he's just sitting there at the table not doing anything either. And if you when you leave the country, you affect the economy. If 100 blacks left out the United States, and they all lived in the same early community. Don't you understand how the community would suffer? The petrol station would get less petrol because you're not putting money in the car. Your community shops would be getting sell less food because you wouldn't be there to buy food. You see, electric bills, gas bills, all these companies would be losing revenue because you were not there. And this is the key that people don't understand, is how you get rid of racism. I mean, how you defeat racism in the country. The only way you can defeat it is to leave. And that's why I say, again, the greatest fear of the white man is black people leaving in mass numbers. I've been moved out of the United States. Any brother or sister, we can work together and build something in Kenya. I'm in China now. That's okay. Well, that's what I want to talk about. I'm trying to put a presentation together, and I will do that with your support. And we're going to talk about creating a village. Start off with a village. This is like any town in the Western days. They don't start off with a full-blown town. They start off with a couple of tents or whatever, and then they grow from that area. So what we need is a piece of land where everybody can invest in, and then when they come to Kenya, that place will be available for them. And we can have like a town community. You pay like you support it, and it'll support you. And so you never have to even worry about being hungry or not having a shelter over your head when you come to Africa or when you come to Kenya, where it's going to be. And then because you have invested into it, this is something that I see that can be possible. And I don't want to come on the channel all day and just be talking. I want to come and do action, as you people know. So this is one of the things I want to do next. But we're putting it together. I'm putting on a later video. I sent regards to your Facebook account. I'm waiting on your acceptance. Okay, fine. I'll do that, GT. You see, you're on two different things. You sent me a friend request because okay, I'll see it. Queen of Sheba, exactly. They wouldn't be able to rape Africa. Okay. If we were all in one accord, I'm going to Ghana and Sierra Leone in August, working on my exit strategy as we speak. Great for you. And then don't forget to let us know how you saw the place. But I know you're going to have a great time because the people are friendly, and then we actually work like this together. It's just that you have to remember that, you know, you come in from with American standpoint. Don't be rude. Try to be trusty, because that's the African way. How do the Chinese treat you over there? Yeah, I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for Doc Jaman to tell us how the Chinese are working for them. Michael Jatoya Jackson, Shalom, and Israelite brother of Zion. Okay, I don't know if you're talking to me because I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. Joy Bell, yes, brother, I have two plans, one for Africa and one for the Caribbean. Since the Tyron Martin case, my spirit has been telling me to get out of the place. Workforce is so racist. I work in Virginia. Oh, poor bro. Sorry, man. Damn. You're working in Virginia. Oh, man. That's like Mississippi almost. Whew. I don't know how you brothers do it. I couldn't do that. And, you know, first of all, I'm from the West. So, you know, if somebody called me nigga, I'm going to have to, we just got to go to jail. Then the second thing, racism, I couldn't see, you know, myself in that. Been in Africa for 21 years. I ain't had a drop of that racism bullshit. So I wouldn't even know what I'd do today if somebody came up to me with some nonsense. Imagine all the black professional athletes moved to Africa. Yes, imagine that. Imagine if Bill Cosby would have just left when they started that shit on him. Instead, imagine if Russell Simmons would take his happy ass out of Philippines and come to Africa. All we need is one good, like Wesley Snipes. Brother should just come and move to Africa. Well, I don't know about Wesley. Now the guy's just kind of, I saw him in a Dolomite movie. Okay, but he's a great actor, and I have met him. But yeah, imagine if one of them came and moved here. It would be great. They've been coming. They've been coming doing concerts. You know, Michael J. White, the martial artist, was in Kenya. He loved it. I can't remember all the names of the other ones, but the singers and like that, they've been doing concerts here in Kenya. But you just don't hear about a lot of that in the mainstream media. They don't talk about that. And yeah, Queen Sheba, be careful, Doc. The intermarriage common in Kenya, Muslim lad versus Christian man, is interfaith. Okay, interfaith marriage is there. Nobody talks about whether what religion you are, but also Kenya has a law now that says you can marry 4 women. Yeah, so you can legally marry 4 women in Kenya now. So it's in the Constitution. Um, have you heard of Kunza Technology City in Kenya? Gwenda 9. Yes, I've heard about it. I've seen it, part of it. I pass by the road every time I go to Nairobi. They're developing it, but it's very slow. And I think they made a mistake when they didn't send the Kenya Railway through there. But anyway, it's not that far from where it's at. But definitely they're putting up the first 2 or 3 buildings. The last I checked on it. But if you go to down the main road from Mombasa to Nairobi, near Machakos, they show you the Science Kwanzaa city over there, and it's going to be a while before it's coming out. Dr. Jermaine, it depends on where you live in China. Okay, thank you for that. Don't say Queen of Sheba. I'm listening too, bro. I have been here for 4 years already. It's way better for me here than in the U.S. I don't have to worry about the police or racism. Yeah, please tell them racism. How can the Chinese be racist in an African country? Anyway, also, do you use the your phone to pay for goods? See, Americans don't understand that concept. We have Mpesa here in Kenya, but when you go to buy something, have you been to any of those places where there's no teller or there's no storekeeper? You just walk in and take what you want, and then you use your phone with the barcode. Dr. Jemaine, let me know about that, because I see like they don't use money in China. The town failed. Okay, American sister ain't gonna like that at all. Nubian. Okay, you guys, I'm missing you guys. Please, will you share your email address? I can share with you. Okay, I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. We use, yeah, WeChat and All Pay, but it doesn't require money, right? It just requires your phone and you press it on the screen. Yeah. Okay, so my research is up to date, huh? People, you see me? So, yeah, we have Mpesa here in Kenya, the first African country to actually have that, where you have moneyless transactions, where you can use your phone to pull money directly out of your account and pay for goods and services. It's growing here, and that means you can do business in Kenya with people from a different city, and then they can just pay you through the phone. Something like here, when we talk about go to where we met and then send through mobile, it's the same thing here. When you send it to this number, it goes directly to my phone. And then Amin is happy, and then he does another show after he gets money. I said the same thing many years ago. Bill Cosby should have gotten out of America. Byron Allen should be very careful with the lawsuit against Comcast. Yeah, he should, but he's up there talking about it. Well, I've been sick. I barely survived, and how the guy came on the Breakfast Club talking about he loved America. Byron Allen. Then because you know why he loved America? Because he had to go through all this controversy, he was turned down and racism and different things, and he had to do 150 phone calls before he got a yes, and then he made it. And that's why he loved America. That's why I hate America, because I didn't have to go through all that. When I was here, jobs just started popping up out of nowhere. Business was good. That's the way it should be. But just because you make it, what about all the brothers that didn't make it through the 150 phone calls? How many brothers rejected this for you to get there? It shouldn't be like that. That's no reason to love America. That's a reason to hate America. You forget about when they did the study in Chicago where they had the same information on the resume, but they changed the name. One was a white person's name and one was a black person's name. And the people that was black got 50% less callbacks, simply because the name on the resume sounded black. Do you know what your people are up against? Do you know what you're raising your children and sticking them out there, what they're going to be? They're killing us. And if they're telling you that the next generation going to be more poor than the next generation, what's that tell you? It's time to get out, because you done tried everything else. Yes, I'm asking you for. Okay, it's me that you want the email address. Here it is. Hope that's right. There's my email address. Is that right? Yeah. Doc Demmer and Queen Sheba. I had a 2-bedroom, 2-story apartment for $500 a month. Gas is cheap when you have a motorcycle. I want to know the cost of living in Kenya. Well, definitely you can get a 2-bedroom for a lot less than $500. You can get a 2-bedroom for $200. You can get a really good bedroom for $300 in a really good area. So it's going to be cheaper, and then you're not going to be. I mean, I know if you're black and you're walking around China, I know you just like feel like you're a zoo. You're in the zoo. Everybody's looking at you. People come up bumping into you, touching your hair. I know that kind of stuff can be very annoying. And then strange foods, but foods here are also strange. But at first, but the weather is always wonderful here. You won't stand out, and people will respect you because you come from a foreign country. Um, oh, Byron Allen's wife is his wife is white. He got a white wife. Oh, don't tell me that. Ah, okay. Well, anyway, I can't be mad at him because he got a white wife. All right, but in black consciousness, I was taught whatever a white person has, whatever a white woman can give you, a black woman can give you that and more. You just got to find her. So that's probably why he was able to get over on a lot of deals, Byron Allen, because you need that kind of backup, and probably why he not getting shot. America is a modern day Solomon and Gomorrah. Yeah, I never read up on Solomon and Gomorrah, but anyway, I believe you. There's a bunch of pink people with my name. Okay, now Brenda D. Nubian, you got me curious. I need to see your picture. Okay, Kunishiba. Okay, thought you knew. All right, you guys. People get scared when I see my videos are 1 hour. They like, who can talk like that? But I want to thank all you guys again for coming onto the chat line. Please let's go to the comment sections and continue the conversation. I'm always there answering questions in my comments. I don't leave it just blank like that. And if you haven't liked, make sure you like the video now and subscribe. I don't know really why, because the only way we don't need all of that. We just have, this is the way we support the channel. I know one or two of you guys are out there and wanting to support the channel, and I appreciate that. Let's do that. And I shout it out to those guys that have been supporting the channel in the past. Phil, Morelli, Doreen, Glass. I don't know if I get different names, but anyway, Kevin Tucker, and I'm missing somebody, and forgive me if I forgot your name. I'm gonna make sure I put it in the comment section. But I really appreciate you guys, but we have to keep it going, and we're gonna have a video on this thing I'm telling you about creating a Kenyan village here for Black Americans, and then we put it up together in such a way that people that come to Kenya can just visit, and they always have. You might not want to stay there, but one day, or you might want to afford a hotel room, but you'll be able to come there and meet people, and we'll be able to share ideas and business contacts. The whole purpose of the village is for us to have a landing place to not only come sleep and eat, but also to come do business and discover businesses, things like that. As you know, like they do in the Western days, a village can grow into a town, and then a town can grow into a city. And, we'll just be the first ones to inhabit it. So we're going to work out something where everybody that pays a certain amount will be part owner of that of that land, and they can come there anytime. And that'll be the action that we'll do. If you want to come to Kenya and you want to do business, you want to go back and forth, there'll be a place where you can bring your goods, send your goods, and they can be stored and be safe while you come back and forth if you're doing import and export. So these are important things that we need to have an established something on the ground. I don't want to just be here talking. We need to have something that's going to be reliable. So those of you that know me and investigate me, this is not something I'm just talking out the wind. I've done this before. I think I'm uniquely qualified to be able to structure it and put it together, especially since I've been here for so long. And our channel will have something else to talk about besides look what they've done to us, or defending the Chinese right to be in Kenya. Anyway, I'm going to get off now. So until the next video, thank you guys for coming. Peace.